What's good? Welcome in. You're watching NBA Now by Chat Sports. For all of the real Hoopers who are watching, we appreciate you for making today's show a part of your day. Coming up on today's docket, an NBA News and Rumors Mailbag where I field all of your questions as part of our live show. Use the hashtag NBA or Super Chat us for you to get your questions answered from all of our loyal subscribers. We start off this mailbag with this question coming in from CP. Pistons, Sharpe, but I'll be okay with Murray. Yeah, so you're talking about Shaedon Sharpe or Keegan Murray. Shaedon Sharpe, if he falls to the Detroit Pistons, I'd happen to really like it. Now, I worry a little bit about positions clashing with Cade Cunningham, but I think Shaedon Sharpe has the upside of being the best scorer in this draft class alongside Jabari Smith. As for Keegan Murray, he might be a better fit just because of the positional class questions that I talked about with Shaedon Sharpe and Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is going to have the ball in his hands a lot, and I have confidence in him to make his teammates better around him no matter what. I'm just talking purely fit here, that Keegan Murray at that 4 or 5 spot as a stretch guy who can give you floor spacing, open up some driving lanes for Cade Cunningham. I think he'd be a better fit, but I do like both players indeed. John Holtz, Durant to the Pistons. I don't think Kevin Durant is going to go to the Detroit Pistons. If he were to request a trade to go anywhere, I think Kevin Durant would want to go to a team where he can win an NBA championship. And while I like the young making of this Pistons roster, led by Cade Cunningham and a couple of other really intriguing young pieces, I do not think that Kevin Durant is looking at the canvas of the NBA and saying, okay, let me see what teams I can force a trade to, because he did just sign that contract extension last summer. Let me go to Detroit. I think he'd try to go to a better team that's more well-positioned right now to compete for the Larry O.B. Leighton Horner, how would you handle the Utah situation? It's a really tricky situation, and where there's smoke, there's fire. I think that after not having advanced past the second round with this core over the last couple of years, there are questions about how this core can coexist. In the regular season, they've won a bunch of games, and they've certainly had their playoff moments, but they haven't been able to punch that ticket to the Western Conference Finals. And it's been a long time since they've been able to make a deep run. Now, I think Donovan Mitchell is a great young player in this league. I think if he wants to be considered an elite guy, he has to be better defensively, because, my goodness, he was atrocious there this past year, especially in the playoffs where Jalen Brunson was just eating his lunch. So Donovan Mitchell is an offensive player. He's great. I do like their thought process of putting shooters around D-Mitch, but with that, they're not good defensive players, and they continue to get gashed on the defensive side of the floor, and that's why they have so much regular season success, but not much postseason success, because in the playoffs, you need athleticism, you need wings, you need length. You look at all the teams that are left right now, they have all of that. Utah, they don't, and they're bad defensively. When you have Quinn Snyder, though, you have Danny Ainge in that front office, you have a couple of really good young players and elite players. We'll see what happens with D-Mitch and Rudy Gobert. I always have faith that Utah, a smart and well-run organization, can get it right, and I have confidence that they're going to get it right and continue to win basketball games and compete. Evan Hinders, one of our biggest fans here at Chat Sports. Bulls draft Walker Kessler from Auburn. Walker Kessler is a good player. He's a little bit slow for me, but you look at Vucevic, he's a terrible defensive player, and with him on the floor, he gets picked apart often. Now, offensively, he's good when he's playing really well. Unfortunately for him, he had a down offensive year, and it did impact the Chicago Bulls to a certain degree. But as a backup, if you draft Walker Kessler and you find a way to get him, mid to late first round, I think that Walker Kessler can be a good rotational center. I don't think he's an every night starting guy because he's a little bit slow, but as a rim protector, as a shot blocker, he does have elite skills in those areas. If you've been enjoying the NBA playoffs, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. I think the momentum for the NBA playoffs has slowed down just a little bit, but the NBA playoffs have been great up to this point. If you're with me, smash that like button. We move forward in this mailbag with this one coming in from Y Big Jordan. Is it realistic for Kenneth Lofton to fall to 30 so the Warriors can grab him? Yes. I'm not sure up to this point if Kenneth Lofton is a first-round talent. If he is, I think he's somewhere in that range of the very back portion of that first round. Now, when you watch him, obviously he's a little bit pudgy. He's a little bit larger. I think he needs to slim down just a tad. That hasn't affected his quickness up to this point. He doesn't have the body type of a Zion Williamson. He's a little bit more pudgier than Zion Williamson. So I have some questions about how he deals with the rigors of an 82-game regular season schedule than going into the playoffs. But as a guy who can handle it for his size, back some people down, he does give you some flashes of Charles Barkley because he's not the tallest guy in the world. He certainly has the width to him and has a similar game of what Charles Barkley had when he was playing at Auburn when, going into the NBA, he too was considered a little bit overweight. Go back to my park. Ayton to Chicago, 4 years, $131 million, and you re-sign LaVine to a 2-year, $80 million deal with the player option. What do you think? Now, if you're Zach LaVine and you can re-sign with Chicago 5 years, or you can go to another team and sign a 4-year deal. And the difference in money between that 2-year and $80 million deal and what he could sign 4 years or 5 years is astronomical. And even the difference between a 4 and 5 year deal, you're missing out on a lot of money. So I don't think Zach LaVine, given his injury history with the knee stuff, he's undergoing surgery yet again, is going to take a short-term deal. Yes, the average annual value there would be $40 million per year, but I think he wants that long-term security. As far as Ayton, you're paying a lot of money to a lot of these guys, so it'd be tough to give him 131 over 4, and you already have Vucevic. So would you look to trade him away? I'm not sure DeAndre Ayton to the Chicago Bulls makes a ton of sense. I would like the fit because it would make them a better basketball team defensively. Now, summer is right around the corner. It's starting to get warm everywhere in America. You know what that means? That means that it's tank top season and basketball season. I was just on a bachelor party over the weekend in Phoenix, Arizona, where temperatures were around 90, 95, 100 degrees. And we had a couple of jersey outings at the crib as we were playing a little pong, and I was stealing money from cats. And I was able to wear an Allen Iverson tank top jersey. Felt really comfortable, didn't really evade me in terms of shooting my pong shots. So if you want to be like me, get buckets, look good, and rock an NBA jersey, a bunch of great deals right now with the warm weather months right around the corner. NBA jerseys available right now if you use that link at the bottom of your screen, chatsports.com/NBA jerseys. There are jersey styles, players for multiple teams, all 30 across the NBA available right now. If you use that link, I'll put that link in the comment section in the description of this video. Jeff Stamps with this. Suns should trade Ayton to the Bulls for Nico and Patrick Williams. So it would have to be a sign and trade because DeAndre Ayton is set to be a free agent. Now, a lot of Bulls fans are calling for DeAndre Ayton. So according to the fan base, they really want Ayton, who I still think is one of the best young big men in the league. Does a deal getting back Vooch and Patrick Williams get the deal done? Maybe. Patrick Williams is an excellent wing defender, and I think that the Phoenix Suns could use a little bit more of that. They were bad last year when Ayton was off the floor because they didn't have a backup center. They had to go with Frank Kaminsky. I thought they were better in that way with JaVale McGee. So I think you'd have to find another way if you bring in Vucevic to fortify that frontline defense just a little bit. Evan Hinders, should Derrick Rose go back to Chicago? It'd be a cool story. It'd be a cool story for D. Rose to go back to Chicago, which is obviously where, he grew up and won the NBA MVP before that string of injury issues really snake bit him. It'd be a cool story for sure, and maybe not a bad bench piece coming off the bench in a pinch to give you some buckets. My Holy King, trade KD for Zion and Ingram. Kevin Durant to the New Orleans Pelicans. That'd be pretty fascinating. But if I'm New Orleans, I'm honestly not doing that deal because I think Ingram, he can be a Kevin Durant type of player. I'm not saying he's on that Hall of Fame trajectory, being one of the best players in the history of the NBA like Kevin Durant has become, but I want to hold on to Brandon Ingram because he's the much younger player who doesn't have the injury concerns that Kevin Durant has, especially at his age. Now, if you're trying to win a championship next year or the year after, maybe, but look, giving up Zion too, that's a lot to give up for KD because of those injury issues, how he's aging. And I love Brandon Ingram and what he was able to do last year. I think the New Orleans Pelicans should keep everybody intact. I think they have something really special brewing right now, and I'd like to see what that young core can do with Zion on the floor with Brandon Ingram. If you're subscribed to us here at Chat Sports, you're a real one. That means that you're helping us get to close to 300,000 subscribers. But if you are subscribed, I want you to let me know that you're subbed to the channel by typing Hooper in the comments section. NBA themed show, Hooper has to do with that. Let's ride. Jason Kreider, do you think that Jalen Williams and A.J. Griffin are the most underrated players in the draft? I like A.J. Griffin. I think people are sleeping on him a little bit. I do think there are some concerns, though, because in high school, he missed 2 years with knee and ankle issues. My pro comp for him has a little bit of Jimmy Butler to his game with a better three-point shot. I think he can be really good. I think people are sleeping on Jalen Williams a little bit. I do think that Kofi Cockburn could be a good rotational center as another guy who people are sleeping on just a bit. And then E.J. Liddell out of Ohio State. If he goes to a team like the Milwaukee Bucks, I think he can be a plug-and-play guy from day one. Duke Terracin Jean, trade LeBron James to the Chicago Bulls. I think LeBron is staying with the Los Angeles Lakers. I really do. I think he's content there. I think that he has so many business ties in the Los Angeles and Hollywood area. That's the mecca for entertainment, and he's really tied his roots down there that he doesn't want to go anywhere. And I think the Los Angeles Lakers are very content with LeBron James because they understand with him on the team, their chances of winning an NBA championship much, much better. Before we hop on out of here in this mailbag, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Our NBA coverage is really about to ramp up with the NBA draft right around the corner, NBA free agency, one of our busiest times of the year here at Chat Sports. So join the family here for the best and most interactive NBA content by hitting that red subscribe button down below or go to youtube.com/chatsportstv.